it's hard not to get a little bit emotional. Jake, you had something to say. This is your time. Jake Segal, who now is the assistant CEO.
That sounds great, yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us here at Camp Horseshoe, the Horseshoe Scout Reservation, here as we celebrate our 96th summer of operation. As David introduced, my name is Jake Segal, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Assistant Scout Executive for the Chester County Council. So when I was asked to talk about my time with Ernie and pass on some remarks, I had to share the story of the very first time that I met Mr. Heegard. And I started working here as a summer camp staff member in 2006, and at that time I was also the lodge chief, and which meant as a summer camp employee I was responsible for, anyone know? Tap outs, or the call outs and the pageant. So it was week one had finished up, and as everyone probably remembers, the people participating in the pageant would come back up to Rothrock Lodge and change, and then go back down to the fire circle in a very quick fury so they wouldn't miss the ceremony. Well, my job as the camp chief was to make sure that happened, but more importantly, to make sure that every single piece came back, because we knew that every single piece belonged to Mr. Heegard, right? He spent time, energy, money making all those different pieces for the pageants. Well, so I was 15, it's Sunday of week 2 now, and Mr. Heegard comes in, who I've never met before. Obviously, I've heard stories. Mr. Berkey-Heiser, Burke, who was the camp director at that time, had said, don't mess this up. And lo and behold, we had one armband missing. And I was 15, I was trying to make sure I didn't mess anything up, and Ernie comes in, and he's like, what's the count? And so I give him the count of everything, and he kind of looks at me and says, you're missing one armband. And so what do? We obviously walk back down to Ajikito, and we scour that area. We don't see the armband. I'm upset because I didn't want to get in trouble, get yelled at. But at the same time, Ernie kind of led me through the process, pulled out of his back pocket. Obviously, he had extras of these things. They go missing all the time. But at that point, I realized that, that Ernie was really someone that I could look up to and seek guidance from and learn from as a new staff member. And that was something that to this day I cherish, I treasure. I would say that Ernie and Betsy have become pretty good friends of mine and have been very kind and friendly to me throughout my time in this council and working here. So I thank you both for your support through these many years that I've known you, now in my 18th summer of working for the Chester County Council. So I just want to thank you for all your service. We talk a lot about what Ernie's done for the camp and the reservation, and it extends beyond that. We just completed the Oscar Lasco Program Activity Resource Campus, or Park, up in Exton. And Ernie and Betsy contributed to the STEM rooms. We're going to have a great opportunity to teach Scouts STEM skills and various programming activities. And we have places to sit on our patio because, as usual, Troop 78, led by Ernie, came through and built all of our tables for Park. So we're really excited about that. Thankful for all that you both do for the council and for Scouts in Chester County. So I just can't thank you enough, and happy to be with you today.
Well, I have to say, very quickly. Excuse me. Came here at 12, came in the lower road, and I came into heaven. Got to tell you, I was kind of pitched between two sisters, one bathroom. But that was much more. I was shown throughout all of this doors that needed to be opened. I had no clue that it was going on. But I worked for 13 different Scout executives, or was coached by them, from Charlie Houston on up. My Scout master would say, oh, Ernie, how about going to a training course over at Schiff Scout Reservation, which was the headquarters for the council, for the National Council. Anyway, so we would troop over there and take these courses and that kind of stuff. And, meet some great people throughout my career. And it wasn't that hard because I enjoyed it every minute. Well, there were a couple of times.
Let's not bring that up.
No, it was a lot of fun. And then Betsy came along. And I said, I can't be a good father and a husband, although I don't play golf. So I had to turn in my keys, and followed by some very, very fine directors. But the training came throughout, because suddenly doors would open in front of me, and I look back and I think guys like Walt Ryan, I mean, I can name them all, because they opened some doors for me, and just like I became the director. We had finished, I was going to be program director, and we set up camp, and right after the lunch, and then the scouts would come in at 2 o'clock, I was summoned down at the porch, and I was introduced to some chatter and that kind of stuff. But our school executive then said, well, Aaron, he said, I'm going back to Westchester. Huh? You're going back to Westchester? He said, yes. I said, well, when are you coming back? At the end of camp. Whoa. So the scepter was changed, handed to me, and suddenly I was camp director. Well, I'll tell you, that was a big door that I was pushed through. But anyway, that started it all. I found out early, the best way to have a great summer is make sure you hire a great staff. Sharp guys, enthusiastic. And anytime we wanted something new, I'd just get the heads all together and say, let's do a little brainstorming here. Come up with some ideas, and they did. Made the job nice and easy. But if they were in the health lodge and they did the checkout or check-in, I could count on it about every other week. Not only do they check them out for fevers and that sort of thing, they fill out buddy tags. And wouldn't you know, get a call at headquarters. The line is long. We have run out of buddy tags. Knowing that they probably would, I always kept a little extra supply. And the next thing was kind of a bug. Headquarters would always push the card home to Mom, the goldfish, the dog, or somebody at that address. And then call the headquarters. We don't have any stamps. So, yeah, that and a few things, but that'll give you an idea of the real serious problems that we have here at camp.
It wasn't all headquarters.
It was part of the program, right? Okay, well, we could sit here all night and talk about the fun things that happened here at camp. And I mean it. We made it fun. And the scouts had fun. Fun enough to say to their scoutmaster, hey, we didn't do it all here. It was designed that way. You can't do it all in 1 week. You're gonna come back. And they kept coming back. And we keep expanding the dining hall after feeding them in 2 series, down at the OA Lodge, the back porch or the front porch. And thankfully, the money came in and we pushed the wall twice. So, anyway, that's the fun job of camp director of Camp Horseshoe. Oh, there's one other thing I'm going to add. Soon after a new scout executive would come in, I would make an appointment and go in and essentially resign my post. Hand in my keys. I said, now, if there's somebody else that you'd like to have, they never took me up on it. So that's how I got to 29 years. Thank you. Thank you all.